We get it. By the time you've reached the final stage of your degree program, the dissertation or thesis can seem like a major hurdle. Your battery's flat, and the temptation to hire someone to do a little writing for you is understandable. The light at the end of the tunnel is visible, but you've got this seemingly massive hurdle between you and the finish line. It wouldn't be such a bad thing to get a little help in the form of a writing service, right? Wrong. In this video, we'll unpack 6 reasons why you should never consider using a dissertation or thesis writing service, not even for a chapter or 2. These reasons range from ethical, which you may or may not care about, to practical, which you'll definitely care about. If you're feeling even a little tempted, you definitely need to watch on. Reason number 1, it's blatant academic misconduct. Despite what the well-polished dissertation writing websites might tell you, if your dissertation or thesis is written by anyone other than yourself, even partially, that constitutes academic misconduct. Plain and simple. Yes, you can get guidance and review-based support from a dissertation coach, and generally you can even outsource non-essential tasks, such as transcription, editing, and proofreading to a professional. But the actual writing must be your own work. So what are the consequences of academic misconduct, you may ask? Well, this will vary between universities, but academic misconduct in the form of having someone else write your dissertation for you will usually result in your entire degree being revoked. Yeah, you heard that right, your entire degree. It doesn't matter that you completed your assignments, reports, and exams on your own, your entire degree will evaporate. So, if you decide to hire a dissertation writing service, you'll be risking the many years worth of work you've put into your degree. To make it even worse, some universities will go so far as to blacklist you and share the information with other universities, which will make your life really difficult if you ever try to apply for another degree program elsewhere. One more thing to keep in mind, your university can initiate an investigation at any point in the future if there's any reason for them to suspect that you've cheated the system. This means that your degree can get revoked many years after you've received it. So just because you can get away with it and receive your certificate now doesn't mean you're set for life. Reason number 2, cheating the system can amount to fraud. If the thought of getting blacklisted for academic misconduct doesn't scare you off, the idea of committing fraud should. But how does a little rule bending in university amount to fraud? Well, the primary reason that most people complete a degree is to gain employment or to improve their current employability. Of course, employers don't make their decisions based purely on your qualifications, but your education is always an important factor in the recruitment process. So, if your degree was gained in part by cheating, you would be using illegitimate documentation, in other words, your degree, to earn money. Disagree? Well, here's the Oxford Dictionary definition of fraud. Fraud, the wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Sound familiar? Naturally, different countries and employers will take different views on this, but there is a very real risk that if you're caught at any point in the future by your employer, they will have a clear case of misrepresentation against you at best or fraud at worst. That's not going to be fun, especially if you earned a law degree. Reason number 3, you'll probably be caught. The biggest misconception we see among students who are considering using a dissertation or thesis writing service is that they genuinely think they won't get caught. But my writer has a PhD. But this company has loads of positive reviews. Oh, but my friend knows someone who did it and it worked. Okay, yeah, here's the thing. Universities know all about these types of services, and many institutions dedicate resources to detecting them, especially for dissertations and theses, as these are the crowning jewel of any degree. In fact, it's really quite easy for a university to see when things look fishy and ultimately catch you out. For a start, a dissertation usually involves supervisor interaction and involvement. That supervisor works with you and, as a result, can easily spot any inconsistencies in writing and communication style. They can also easily assess whether you understand what you've written when they speak with you in real time. All it takes is one little contradiction to arouse their suspicions. Ultimately, a research project like a dissertation or thesis is an ongoing dance between you and your supervisor or advisor or chair. There's simply no way to incorporate an outsourced dissertation writer, who's often sitting on the other side of the world, into this party without someone smelling a rat. The love triangle just doesn't work. Also, if you have to present an oral defense as part of your project, you'll almost certainly get caught out at that stage, as the examiners will dig into the finer details of your research and ask you probing questions that you probably won't be able to answer. If any suspicions arise, your university can easily compare your previous written work, for example, your assignments and reports, to your forged dissertation and identify the inconsistencies, both in terms of the language and the overall quality of the work. They can also ask to review your data sources. Many universities will require this by default, which you won't be able to provide since dissertation writing services don't typically undertake any real data collection. Long story short, don't make the misguided assumption that you won't get caught. Chances are you will. Reason number 4, the work probably won't even be pass-worthy. This one's pretty simple. As the saying goes, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Undertaking quality research and writing up a quality dissertation or thesis requires a significant time investment and a substantial amount of effort. There's simply no way around that. So you can't realistically expect quality work from a dissertation mill that promises a document in a week or two, sometimes even a few days, at a rock-bottom price. Sadly, we've seen it so many times. Students approach us at Grad Coach after they've paid anything from a few $100 to a few $1,000 to some supposedly highly ranked dissertation writer. Then they receive a piece of work that is nowhere near pass-worthy. In their despair, they reach out to us to try to help put the proverbial lipstick on the pig. Needless to say, that's an impossible task. The bottom line is that you get what you pay for, and sometimes not even that. No self-respecting PhD holder is going to pump out dissertations and theses for a minimum wage, and with impossible timelines. Moreover, anyone that's been through the pain of earning a PhD, a real one, would have major ethical objections to engaging in this type of work. It fundamentally goes against the purpose of academia, helping people develop knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills which you'll also be missing out on, by the way. So, if you do decide to hire a dissertation writer, there's a very good chance you're going to end up with a piece of work that is nowhere near the quality level it needs to be, which means you've achieved nothing, wasted a pile of money, and you're back to square one. And that's a relatively good outcome, especially compared to the next one. Reason number 5, there's a good chance it's a scam. If you thought getting a low-quality piece of writing was bad, imagine this, not getting anything at all. Very often, these writing services fall into the "if it looks too good to be true, it isn't" category. Over the years, we've had numerous students approach us after falling victim to a dissertation writing service scam. Generally, it's the companies and websites that offer really low rates or promise suspiciously quick turnaround times. But it can happen with any level of provider. These students then find themselves in a really tough position. They've spent all their money on a scam and have made absolutely zero progress towards a submission-worthy dissertation or thesis. But this company has over 1,000 reviews on Facebook, you say. Come on. Don't be fooled by the glowing reviews. Remember, you're looking at the reviews of a company whose core business is creating fake documents. Simply put, if you're going to hire someone that helps you scam your university, don't be surprised if you end up being the one getting scammed. Last but not least, reason number 6, you'll have to live with it forever. Okay, so let's just assume that somehow you do get away with it. Somehow you manage to find a reliable company that isn't a scam, that produces a semi-decent dissertation without any interaction with your supervisor, and doesn't trigger any alarm bells with your supervisor or examiners. As we've already said, this is highly unlikely, but let's just assume that somehow you managed to do it. Even if you manage to pull that off, you'll still have to live with the lie for the rest of your life. There's no rewinding the clock or making it right at a later stage. Now, perhaps that doesn't seem like a major thing right now, but your perspective will likely change as you get older, and imposter syndrome will creep in. So keep that in mind. As you get older, your ethical perspectives will change, and you'll have no option to reverse the decision you made and set it right. You'll always have the weight of deception on your shoulders, and you'll always be wondering if one day you'll get caught. That's a burden you don't want to be carrying around for the rest of your days. All right, if you've put in the effort to watch this far, I'm hoping you've come to see the light and realized that hiring any sort of dissertation or thesis writing service is the worst decision you could possibly make, regardless of the circumstances. If you've got any questions, be sure to leave a comment below, and we'll do our best to reply. Also, hit that subscribe button for weekly tips and advice to help you craft your dissertation, thesis, or research project the legitimate way. Lastly, if you're looking for hands-on, ethical help, be sure to check out our one-on-one private coaching service, where we hold your hand throughout the research process, step by step. For more information and to book a free initial consultation, visit gradcoach.com. Until next time, good luck. Thank you.